The building was restored. They restored the exterior, the grounds, and the ornamental interior spaces that you see here to their original appearance. And the building itself has actually earned awards from the American Institute of Architects and the National Endowment for the Arts. So we thought that this historic courthouse would be a perfect setting for our celebration today. So feel free to look around. It really is quite an exceptional grounds and building. So this is St. Francis's 8th graduation ceremony. And with the graduates we celebrate today, St. Francis alumni will number 77 in total. I recall our first graduation that we had in around 2016, we had 3 graduates. So we've come a long way since then. Our graduating group that's here today has persevered much to arrive here, including the trauma of COVID, and for some people, the trauma of the California bar exam that was earlier this week, which really only makes their accomplishment the more impressive and worthy of our respect. We're very excited that many of you could join us here today live, and want to extend our good wishes to those who could not, some of whom are joining us on the live stream, which both any family or friends who could not attend, and a number of our St. Francis students will be watching. So we are very fortunate as a young school to be free of some of the stodgier traditions that govern these ceremonies. I hope you will enjoy the ritual that has evolved here at St. Francis and the vibe that we're looking for in our graduation and that we'll need your help with is serious but celebratory. So I invite you to be in the moment with us and enjoy with us acknowledging the hard work and accomplishments of these graduates. For our guests who are joining us and to acknowledge what our graduates have been a part of, just a few words about St. Francis School of Law. Like these graduates, St. Francis represents the vanguard of an effective and affordable form of legal education that allows adults like yourself who otherwise could not obtain a law degree to do so. So a form, by the way, of education that has survived the pandemic, and actually we were on the forefront of online education when the pandemic hit in 2020. And I think we've provided a model for many other schools who, under the circumstances, had to move their instruction online. Today, more than 35% of law schools nationwide have an online or hybrid programs, and we really have led the way, I think, in bringing legal education to the 21st century. So the word is spreading, and in a very short span of time, at least as we measure things in the academic world, St. Francis has established itself as an undisputed leader in California accredited online legal education, as measured by the professional qualities and accomplishments of our students and graduates. All of us together, including you and our graduates today, have made that possible. And despite what you may hear sometimes, that the world just has too many lawyers, Actually, the need for good attorneys is ever growing. Our goal is that all of those qualified and willing to serve the rule of law to contribute meaningfully to the safety of our civil rights, to causes, individual and collective, and to communities by law, practice, or by simply bringing the rigor of legal thinking to public and private life, should be able to access the law despite economic, regional, racial, gender, or other barriers. Graduates, we are very proud of you today and always. For our assembled friends and family, let me just give you a sense of the background of this group, which is not something I think you would find in any other more traditional law school. We've got 2 physicians in the group, and out of 11 people who are attending today, you will hear from both physicians because they are also being bestowed the academic honors that they have earned. We have a commercial pilot, more about him later, and where he has been when he's been attending classes. We've got at least 2 CPAs and accountants. We've got a banker and many more accomplished graduates. I firmly believe that no other law school in the land, not one, has anything like this profile of accomplishments within its graduating class. And we're going to add a Juris Doctorate degree to those accomplishments today. So we appreciate each graduate and all the hard work and sacrifices that have been made to get to this point. I will also thank our very talented and devoted faculty and staff on your behalf, some of whom are here to celebrate with you today. We have Professor Mark West, who teaches first-year torts. We have Professor Steve Hoffman, that you will hear from a little later in the program, who teaches intellectual property as well as business associations. We have Truby Bodiford, who is not only a new faculty member, but a St. Francis graduate. So Truby is the first graduate from our law school who's achieving great things in the practice of law, who is coming back to impart her knowledge on the first-year contract students. We have, and I will introduce him more formally shortly, Randy Hill. He's the VP of Academic Affairs from Baker College and has made the trip out from Michigan to be with us today. And Professor Charles Katz, who teaches, as you know, property, contracts, and is now the Director of Academic Excellence. So thank you all for joining us today. And I also want to point out, and maybe you could stand, we have Tammy Howard with us today, that those of our students will recognize that name as our registrar. And I have to say, Tammy makes the law school run. Every schedule you've had in the years, not my creation, are Tammy's. She keeps everything straight and has been my right hand, and we just could not do it without her. We also have Peter Tett, who some of you may have recognized the name remotely. Peter is our IT person. So when our students can't get into the class or something doesn't work right, we call Peter, and it gets fixed. We are also very blessed to have 3 students who are joining us here today, and you may have met them ushering you in. So we have Aileen Kiernan, Joanne, if you want to, Joanne Armstrong, and we have Natalie Martin. Thank you very much for assisting us today. Okay, and now I would like to introduce again Dr. Randy Hill, who will be making a few remarks to get us started.
All right, thank you, Dean Travis. Welcome. Good morning. It is my great honor to stand before you today as we celebrate this momentous occasion, the graduation of our exceptional law class of 2024. On behalf of the Baker College community, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to each and every one of you. Graduates, today marks the culmination of years of rigorous study, unyielding dedication, and countless hours of hard work. You have navigated the demanding challenges of law school with perseverance and passion, and now you stand poised to embark on the next chapter of your professional journey. This is a day of profound achievement, and it is testament to your resilience and commitment to the pursuit of justice and the rule of law. To the families and friends who have supported those graduates along their journey, we extend our deepest gratitude. Your encouragement has been instrumental in their success. Today, we celebrate not only the accomplishments of our graduates, but also the unwavering support and sacrifices made by those who stood with them. Again, I would like to welcome you to the 2024 St. Francis School of Law graduation ceremony, and I would now like to turn it over to Professor Charles Katz, our Director of Academic Excellence, for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. And here's Dean Travis.
I just wanted to briefly honor a special guest that we have here today. I know who has come to watch this celebration for Romeo, and that is Major General Mike Diamond. So thank you for coming. Okay, so we have an incredible situation today with 2 graduates who have earned a GPA that is the average grade for their time here in the summa cum laude range. That means that overall they've earned a 3.75 or higher on a 4-point scale. And to top things off, only 1/100th of a point separates these 2. And as I mentioned earlier, even more amazing, they are both physicians who were in active practice throughout the 4 years of law school. So really slackers. And those individuals are Murat Plotkin and Jason Sniffen. Okay. So first, Murat. Murat is really the best of the best. He actually has earned the highest GPA in the 12-year history of St. Francis. So, and Jason right behind him. I've had the distinct privilege of having Murat in several classes starting in the first year. And when Murat is in your class, you know it. He is inquisitive, eager to learn, and really keeps everybody on their toes. I'm happy to acknowledge that Murat survived the bar exam, though he's not sure he did. We are sure he did, earlier this week, and he has his wife here today, who deserves much praise for putting up with Murat's law school schedule for these past 4 years, all while Murat worked in his active pediatric practice. So please join me in congratulating Murat on his remarkable academic success here at St. Francis and in welcoming him to the podium for a few remarks. Murat?
I hope it works. I know how to do it. I think. Okay. It shouldn't be that difficult. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, family, Dean Travis, and my fellow graduates, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to congratulate every single one of you on this very special day. I think it's truly remarkable that we managed to go through these 4 years of studying and remained sane and earned our law degrees. We all came from diverse backgrounds and had different objectives before we entered school, but we shared a common desire to study law, and I think we achieved that goal. Congratulations on the successful completion of this journey. I'm happy that I chose St. Francis School because I think it provides students with somewhat unique experience by combining the elements of both online and in-person education. I tried to calculate how much time we spent together during the 4 years, and, well, if my math is correct, it was more than 400 times we met with each other on Zoom and spent more than 600 hours together in conversations. That's a lot of time. At the end, I think, or at least many of us felt that we know each other better than some students who attend traditional schools. I think that opportunity for ongoing communication and instant feedback was essential, at least for me, in being able to successfully complete the program. And I wish St. Francis many long and prosperous years ahead. When we started together 4 years ago, the goal seemed far away, but then the first course kind of went by, and then the second class, and then suddenly the first year was gone. Along the way, we learned about each other and learned about law, and we had a great support and encouragement from our professors. Thank you. The first year of law school was especially challenging for me and confusing. I have done some studying, fair amount of studying before, but nothing could be compared to the first year of law school. In all my previous schooling, we would always start with some basics and gradually progress to more advanced topics in a logical and coherent manner. Lectures would usually summarize what we needed to know, and we would slowly move along step by step. In contrast, during L1, nothing initially made sense, at least to me. Court decisions seemed unfair and illogical, often appearing in conflict with our inner sense of justice. Concepts like reasonableness and unconscionability or assignment of monetary value to pain and suffering were difficult to grasp. We had to relearn how to write and how to argue our points efficiently. I firmly believe that we survived the first year without major mental breakdowns, largely thanks to yes, Dean Travis. She appeared strict and demanding, but it was for a good reason. This reason, however, became apparent only in our second year, when we realized that she had been spoon-feeding us everything we needed to know to survive the first year of school. All the black letter rules were pre-compiled and given to us in a concise and digestible manner. We used these rules even for the preparation for the bar exam. Again, thank you, Dean Travis. Year ended with the happy news that we didn't have to go through filthy. It's the first year law school examination. I think that thanks to the efforts of St. Francis faculty and previous students, the school became accredited by the California Bar Association, freeing us from the first year exam and giving us more humane schedule and summer breaks and some other perks. The second year was much easier, at least for me. I was excited about all new and interesting subjects that we were about to learn and how we can apply them in our different everyday life. Even the second year competency examination at the end of the second year didn't seem like a big deal compared to the filthy, which we didn't have to take. So the only rude awakening was the absence of pre-written black letter laws. And I still remember the class where we asked Professor how we were expected to write the end of the week assignment without being provided with the rules. Yes. That was when we realized how much we had been babied during the first year. The third year seemed to fly by, at least for me. It was much easier not because the subjects were less challenging, but because we had learned how to study both effectively and efficiently, what to study, and what was equally important, what not to study. We became adept at convincing professors that strict enforcement of submission guidelines was at least unreasonable, if not unconscionable, and definitely against public policy. Or maybe we just thought we were clever, and the professors, seeing through our tricks, were simply more lenient with us as survivors of the first 2 years. In the fourth year, we suddenly realized that we might actually graduate soon. And it was an exciting thought. My wife, she even remarked that I had been absent for so long that she wasn't sure what to do with me once I no longer have classes or homework. The bar exam also became a reality. The preparation course was stressful, but it was very helpful in making me review my the previous year's subjects. Without this mandatory review, I would have likely procrastinated until the end of the school year. Anyway, we are done with this journey. It was not an easy one, but we were not alone. We were helped and supported by our families, friends, and school professors and administrators. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, my wife, Tanya, for supporting me through these years. I realize how difficult it is to live with somebody who is absent half of the evenings and most weekends because of classes and homework. Even when I wasn't actively studying, my mind was preoccupied with schoolwork. She took on a lot of everyday responsibilities, from paying bills to managing business-related tasks. Thank you, Tanya. I couldn't have made it without your support and understanding. I want to thank Dean Travis and Professor for ensuring that we learn how to become attorneys and for supporting us throughout the school years. I would also like to thank my friends, Romeo and Giovanni, for our weekly Zoom meetings throughout all 4 years, which started as a law study group, but quickly expanded into discussions ranging from politics to the price of wine in Spain. Thank you, Walter. Walter, thank you, Walter, for being my in-house opponent and arguing with me on every conceivable topic in almost every class during these 4 years. It was fun, Walter. Also, as Romeo once said, Walter should receive an award for presenting the most cases from the 35,000 feet altitude. Akagi is not here, but I would like to thank Akagi for teaching me how to write better through his written answers to discussion questions, which we all read and all envied a little bit. I hope that one day we'll be able to write as well as he does. All I said before, we all came from different backgrounds, and everyone contributed something special to the group. John Merrifield, he taught us, shared with us his experience in aviation industry. John Wilkerson, he is not here, served as our in-house financial expert, as well as Walter. Kerry Kefalis gave us insight about medical research and was champion in asking the most inconvenient questions that would frequently append whatever we thought we understood. James Lee, explained to us how local government works. Thank you. I think it's the most difficult part. Avalon shared her experience in managing medical practice. Megan Hartman, who came to us from another class and was the only one who took the first year school exam, and whose contract essay, by the way, was chosen as a sample answer by the California bar, became an inspirational example that it's possible actually to pass the bar exam. Giovanni was our guide into inner workings of the entertainment industry. And Romeo has always been a reliable resource on any imaginable issue. He was always there to help and never said no to anybody who was asking for it. Thank you, Romeo. There's my Romeo. Thank you all for sticking together for these years. After today, our lives will forever be changed. Some of us have taken the bar, some will pursue the bar exam later, and some will move to other areas. Regardless, all of us now and will always be alumni of St. Francis Law School. I wish to offer my sincerest congratulations and wish all the success to you and your families for all the hard work and sacrifices you have made over these last 4 years. Good luck to all of you in all your future endeavors. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Murat. Now, Jason Sniffen. Jason is formally the St. Francis Salutatorian, and as I said earlier, he's just a fraction following Murat's academic achievements. I have also been privileged to have had Jason in several classes. And when you have Jason in your class, you come to wonder who is teaching whom. His writing often rivals the sample answers that I was always so proud of that I provided to the class. And I do not think in all 4 years, and Jason, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that Jason ever came to class unprepared. If he did, it will remain a secret because I never suspected. He was always the instigator of interesting discussions, and I can recall many times that after class I would run to my books and look up the question that Jason had posed because I didn't know the answer. So it was really a learning experience, I think, for those teaching you, and hopefully it equaled by what knowledge we've imparted to you. I think over the years, Jason was particularly responsible for helping to foster a very strong connection in his cohort of 6 students. When I would receive emails from Jason, I always knew that he was asking for information on behalf of his friends. And Jason and his cohort will really be sorely missed. So please join me in welcoming Jason to the podium for a few remarks.
Old reliable.
Well, I'm going to dial down the seriousness knob, and I'm going to dial up the celebratory knob. So this is a great place to have a law school graduation. How about this? I don't know how many litigators we have out there, but I personally would prefer to have this be the last time I'm in a courtroom. For those who don't know me, I'm Jason Sniffen. I'm from Orlando, Florida, and I'm a very proud member of the class of 2024. So let me start by re-welcoming everyone, especially our new graduates, faculty, and our families and friends. It's such a great honor to be able to speak to you today. You know, when Dean Travis sent me an email and told me I'd been selected as salutatorian, I thought, salutatorian, what is that? I haven't graduated from anything in a long time, like many of you, and had to go to the internet and get the definition. But I said, oh, well, I can do that. And then later in the email, she informed me that I had to get up and speak. And I said, oh gosh. Okay, well, I guess I can do that. So let's give it a try. Let me first congratulate my fellow graduates on a tremendous achievement. I've been so fortunate to attend law school amongst so many talented people. And as many of you know, law school at St. Francis is not just professors lecturing students, although there's plenty of that. Our law school is really a group effort, right? The rest of the class presents cases, goes over essay questions. So we're really interdependent. We're dependent upon each other. And having talented classmates who are committed to the workload is really key to our success. So thank you, everyone. I'd like to thank the faculty who helped us through this process and reach this goal. We've been so fortunate to have such a talented group of professors with not only academic experience, but real-world knowledge. Thank you, professors. And obviously a special thanks to Dean Travis, who started out as one of our professors teaching us multiple courses. Oh, there you are, sorry. But then evolved about halfway through our 4-year experience to be our dean. So thank you, Dean Travis. I'm also fortunate to have some of my most important people here with me today. I have my wonderful wife, Kristen, who just like you, I couldn't have made it through this process without her. Thank you, Kristen. I also have 4 daughters here. And Jenna, my oldest daughter, is actually in law school, and she'll be graduating 1 year from today. Jenna and I plan on going into practice together. Our law firm is specifically going to defend those who are being prosecuted for tearing the tags and labels from their mattresses. We think this represents an unmet need, so. I have Jody here. Oh, yeah. Getting a good laugh out of that one. Okay. I have Jody here. She's my second daughter, and she's at Florida State studying hospitality and business. Hi, Jody. Jacqueline, who's a senior in high school and looking forward to going to Florida State and hanging out with her sister, and she's going to pursue a career in medicine. I tried to warn her off, but. And then last but not least, Peyton, my youngest, and she's entering high school. Okay. My fellow graduates, today we can take some time to reflect on the last 4 years and be thankful for the knowledge we've acquired and the relationships we've made. Up until today, I had only met Tammy, Matt, Ariana, and many others online, but I'm sure we're going to maintain our WhatsApp thread and keep each other apprised of our accomplishments and all of our successes. I'd like to quickly remind you where we've been over the last 4 years, just to supplement what Marat said. Our first orientation class was July 28th, 2020, okay? And that was Professor Mueller. And our classes were a little larger then. You know, we lost a few during the way. They went in a different direction. But others, 17 of us, okay, 11 who are here today, were steadfast and persevered. And now we have a great class for 2024. We started our law school experience at the height of the pandemic, while other colleges and law schools were literally scrambling to put together the infrastructure to be able to deliver classes online. St. Francis didn't skip a class. I remember during orientation, we had an opportunity to introduce ourselves, and I went to introduce myself to the class and Professor Moeller. And I said, I'm an infectious disease doctor struggling through the pandemic. And that's when she decided to give me some useful advice. She said, Jason, doctors and police officers typically struggle through the beginning of law school. She said, they have a problem with some of the law school essay questions, and she said that their opinion is normally, that would never happen in real life. So her advice was, she wanted me to forget everything I knew about medicine and just focus on our little legal academic bubble. And I said, forget everything I know about medicine. Professor, I still have a day job like the rest of us, and there's a pandemic. I cannot forget everything I know about medicine. But of course, her advice was right on. So I tried to live the next 4 years of my life in that legal academic bubble, not doubting some of the facts and the hypotheticals, and as Matt would say, focusing on the call of the questions. So anyway, she was of course right, so I have to give her credit. We all miss her. All right, so now okay, maybe this is not as reliable. Okay, there we go. All right. So, yeah, okay. So a few weeks later, we got notification that the California Bar had given St. Francis full accreditation, and that meant a lot of us didn't have to take the first-year exam, and so that was really happy times. And, you know, much of the rest of the 4 years is just a blur of class time, case presentations, and late-night assignments. For me, late-night assignments. Fortunately for me, Tammy lived on the West Coast, and I was on the East Coast, so I could contact her around midnight when I was doing my homework, and she was still awake to kind of guide me how to research a trademark on a website or something like that. Thanks, Tammy. So once again, today is about congratulations and celebration, okay? But I can tell you, from my own experience, these times will fade, and sometimes they fade rather too quickly, and then the real work begins, okay? And sure, the bar exam is another hurdle, and that was real work, but the work I'm referring to is the actual practice of law, in whatever field you choose to use your law degree. You see, you've chosen a somewhat unique profession, and it really stands out only amongst a few. Very soon, your focus is just going to be service. That'll be your paramount focus, service to others. And like my current profession, most of your future clients would rather not seek your help. Many of your future clients would rather not get to know you at all. Life's challenges will have thrust them into a position where they are in need of expert advice or guidance through a difficult situation. Yeah, I really probably should have used the iPad, huh? But many of your future clients will be desperate in their situations, their livelihood, financial stability, professional status, family structure, or even their lives might be in the balance. Some of our future clients will be bitter. Some will be vengeful, seeking retribution. Others will be hopeful in their efforts to create a new business, secure an economic endeavor, or start a new chapter in their lives. Regardless of the type of client you service, they'll be putting something in our hands, their trust. Their trust and the high stakes of their circumstance may weigh heavily upon us. We'll need to be strong advocates, clear thinkers, and try to separate our emotions from good lawyering. It'll be difficult at times. Our clients will be laying it all on the line, and many of them will be vulnerable. Some of our clients will open up to us and tell us things that they would only tell those closest to them. Perhaps some of our clients will tell us things that they wouldn't tell anyone else at all. It'll be our role to maintain their confidence. If it's anything like medicine, it'll be challenging. It'll be a stressful roller coaster, but it'll be worth it, and it'll be a rewarding career. If I can give you a few bits of advice, from someone with nearly 30 years of a similarly demanding and emotional field. Be humble, be balanced in your thinking, and most of all, take care of yourself, both physically and mentally, because doing so will put you in the best position to serve others. Thank you.
And I'd now like to welcome Professor Charles Katz to the podium to make a few remarks.
It's interesting seeing everybody in person for the first time, not on Zoom. First, I'd just like to offer my congratulations to the class here on your great accomplishment. This is a very significant achievement. And I'm sure not you're only proud of yourself, but your families are also just as much proud of you. And on behalf of the class, I'd like to thank the families, spouses, children, friends, who had to put up with and tolerate these students for the last 4 years. They could not have done it without your help and support. And I know that they appreciate it, and I know the school appreciates it as well. So I first met this class, they were in my real property class. And I told you at that time that I too am a graduate from an online law school, and that I was invested in your success. So here, seeing everyone today, it makes me feel great that you'll be able to achieve the same success that I have. I've been very lucky and very happy to have a 20-year career as a litigation attorney, and I hope that you're able to achieve the same kind of success. So here we are in this really wonderful setting, venue here at the appellate court. And I have just a few more remarks. I thought during our classes, I told you many stories about my own experiences in the law to hopefully augment the material that we were discussing. But I thought I would tell you a quick story about, it was actually my first legal case, and the first time I was going to have to appear in court at a bench trial. After I was sworn into the California bar, and by the way, I live in Orange County, south of here, and after I was sworn in, I joined the Orange County Legal Aid Society, and I volunteered in their clinics that would help tenants who were being evicted from their apartments. I met a young man in the clinic who was facing eviction from his apartment solely because his landlord discovered he was HIV positive. This occurred about 20 years ago, and at that time, those afflicted with HIV or AIDS were not afforded any protection under the Americans with Disability Act, however they are today. Given this case, I decided to take the case and represent him in court. So I was so nervous about my first appearance, I wanted to be prepared. I was so nervous that I was going to forget my suit jacket that I thought it would be a good idea to put it on the knob of the front door so that I didn't forget it. I was so nervous, I didn't even remember driving to the courthouse that day. And when I arrived at the courthouse, I opened up the back door of my car. There's no suit jacket there. So obviously I was in a little panic mode and thinking that my first court appearance is going to result in some sanction from the judge for not wearing my suit jacket. But fortunately, when I got there, I met the landlord's attorney in the hallway outside of the courtroom. He was shocked that the tenant had an attorney representing him. He didn't expect it. He thought he was going to go in and this eviction was going to be a slam dunk. So he said, "Do you want to discuss settlement?" And I said, "Sure. Anything to keep me out from being in front of the judge without my suit jacket." So I had spoken with my client beforehand, and he needed time to get out. He didn't want to stay in the apartment. He didn't want to be with a landlord that had those kind of attitudes. So he wanted to move, but he couldn't move immediately if he got a summary judgment and he was going to be evicted. And he said, "It's going to take me at least 30 days. It would be great if I had 60, because he would also have to look for a new apartment as well." So I was discussing it with the opposing counsel, and he said, "Look, can we just resolve this and give your client 30 days to move?" And I said, "No, I don't think that's going to work." And he said, "Well, how about 60? And I said, "Well, if you make it 90, we got a deal." And he goes, "Great." So we settled the case out in the hallway. My client was thrilled because he had 90 days to vacate, find a new place to live. I was probably happier that I didn't have to go into that courtroom without my suit jacket. But about a month after this case ended, I received the nicest note in the mail from this client, thanking me for my representation, telling me he got more than he ever expected, and I've kept that note in my desk drawer to this day. So the moral of my story, besides making sure you take your suit jacket, which, by the way, I forgot to mention, it was a great idea putting it on the front door when every day I would go out the garage door to my car. So aside from not leaving your jacket in the car, just understand you have a great education. There is so much, you may have some ideas about what you want to do, how you want to practice, but there's so much more that you can do with your legal education. The ability to assist those that can't help themselves, whether it's they don't have the money or they just don't know which way to turn, it would behoove you to assist those that you can. I can tell you, you can not only change someone's life, but you'll also change your own life. So again, today, I want to congratulate all of you on this great accomplishment. I can't wait to sit and talk with each one of you at the reception, and I wish you the best in your future. Thank you very much.
And I would now like to welcome to the podium Professor Steve Hoffman, who will give the faculty address to the class of 2024. Professor Hoffman.
Well, hello. Interesting timing. There's a CatCon going on at the convention center right after the bar exam. And for those of you who recall my Canvas picture, you'll see it's my friend, my cat, Norman Bates. So I get to kind of double up here today. Where are we? Greetings, fellow members of the Hello Kitty fan club. Sorry, wrong speech. Okay. Stupid things. I'm going to do this like the kids do, wear it backwards. So, I wrote a whole bunch of jokes of what I wanted to talk about today. And, the first thing was, gee, should we talk about the rule against perpetuities? And then they tested it on the bar exam. Stopped being funny and started being trauma, didn't it? And the business judgment rule, they tested that too. So just for those of you who haven't taken the exam yet, a little advice, ask me to give a speech right before you take the exam, see what jokes I write, and there you go. That's what they'll be testing. Oh, I hate these things. So what do we talk about? And it really is an honor to get to talk to you today, right? And you think, geez, I don't know what to talk about, so what do you do in the modern era? You go to YouTube, you search faculty, law school, commencement address, and you see lots of speeches filled with lawyer jokes and platitudes about doing good works. And, well, the lawyer jokes, I'll leave to you. They're just funny because they're true. And the platitudes, well, certainly, I hope you do go out and do good works. But I thought that what I try to do today is put a little reality into this thing. You know, it really is amazing what you've been through and what you've accomplished already and what you're still to accomplish. And, you know, every other lawyer's done that too, and it breeds a certain amount of arrogance sometimes, a certain amount of really believing in themselves, maybe a little more than they should. So I want to just put a little reality into this and explain to you why you are better than all the other lawyers out there. And if you think I'm kidding, really, I'm kind of deadly serious about this. You know, one of the things that you probably heard me harp on a little bit in class that I always remember from professional responsibility is the job is not attorney at law, it's attorney and counselor at law. And, you know, an attorney is somebody who can explain to their clients about the law, but a counselor is somebody who can give advice, can lead them in a healthy direction for them, who can help them do good things. And you don't accomplish that just by what you've done here today, right? You accomplish that by using every arrow in your quiver, in using all the tools that you have as professionals, financial, medical, whatever you have that you've done in your life in the past. And you've got that, right? You've got that kind of background. Whereas the average 22-year-old who goes straight to law school at a Harvard or Yale, Ariana, I've said this to you before, cover your ears, but seriously. The average, I went straight to Harvard, I went to Yale, I went to one of the Ivies, good for you. They haven't seen the real world the way you have. They don't have the arrows in their quiver. They don't have the tools to use to be a counselor at law the way you do. And that's pretty special. You never know where the journey takes you. One of my friends, Professor Katz and I were talking a little bit, I think he kind of remembers the name Rakesh, was one of my closest friends as a law student. Really sharp guy, really buttoned down guy, not that he's not a great guy, but not the most warm and fuzzy family guy you've ever seen. He's an engineer. Always expected to go into patent law until one day he volunteered at a family law clinic and found out that he had a real passion for working with families in crisis. You don't know where this adventure takes you, but it can take you to some pretty cool places. And again, I want to remind you of the background you have that really lets you to serve a client the way that you can and others cannot. There's this other piece of the puzzle too. It's a term we've heard way too much, particularly in IP class, technological disruption. You know, everything from AI to the internet to COVID and all the other things that have happened. And technological disruption has really become sort of the bywords for this entire world. There's a case I remember from my 1L experience called the T.J. Hooper. T.J. Hooper was about the nautical industry. Opinion written by a guy you might have heard of before, a Judge Learned Hand. And Judge Hand said that the case is really about custom in industry. And one of the things he said is that, you know, while custom is normally the way things should be done, and I quote, "A whole calling may have unduly lagged in the adoption of new and available devices." Case kind of resonated for me because the device at the time that had disrupted the nautical business was radio. Something very close to my heart, something that was the disruptor and nowadays has become the disrupted. So here's the thing, new and available devices, you, my friends, are new and available devices. Because you see, you've been part of this other new available device that didn't used to exist, online legal education. And you have picked up experiences to add to the ones you already have, the arrows already in your quiver, that the kids from the Harvards and the Yales and the every place else, they don't have those. So as the world continues to move further and further online, you're empowered to do something with it and do something about it in a way that some others, maybe they weren't able to do that. And I just wanted to give you that thought. Again, because you are, in fact, better than your future peers. So with that, I feel like there's something else I'm supposed to do. Oh yes, congratulate you. And you know, you have done something remarkable. And you know that. I remind you, and I have a funky background because, like Professor Katz, my Juris Doctor is from an online legal institution, but I also have a master's from a brick and mortar institution. I've seen it both ways. And I remind you that you did it with a higher degree of difficulty than all those Yaleys and all those Harvards and all the others. You know, I've watched you hug your kids. I've watched you pet your cats. I've watched you go through the challenges of a professional life while you do this. And it gives you an accomplishment level that those other people can't match. So now let's do this. You guys all cover your ears. All of you, you've already kind of heard this, but I want to make this clear. Congratulations to you. Am I getting emotional? You better believe I am. Why? You as a support system are truly remarkable. The partners, the children, the friends, the family members, what have you put up with for 4 years? A lot. And make them pay you back. Because you've earned it. And for all the congratulations that these guys deserve, you deserve more. Why am I getting emotional? I'm thinking about my support system. I'll never forget them. You'll never forget yours. At this point, I think I will be done paying my wife back for 4 years of this in about the year 2287. So, again, congratulations. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do next. Get ready for the exam, sorry. Get ready to go out and counsel, y'all. But more importantly, there's something else to do first. Get out there and celebrate. You've earned it. Congrats.
Well, graduates, we are getting closer to the big moment. The Juris Doctor degree you received today represents the recognition by the school and the faculty that you have successfully completed the rigorous academic program designed by the faculty to prepare you for entry into the profession of law. Upon graduation, you carry the burden of trust placed in attorneys and counselors at law by the most important people in the legal system, the clients we serve, the people that the law means to protect, whether guarding their rights or redressing their grievances. Only when the faculty is satisfied that you have met their demanding standards can you walk across this area and gain your degree. So at this time, before we confer your degrees, I would like to offer some brief personal remarks to these 2024 graduates and by the graduates. I too want to start by congratulating the graduates' family and friends for supporting them and for surviving the past 4 years. Thank you all. You've probably learned more about the law than you ever imagined by being subjected to their Tuesday and Thursday classes for all of these years. And on the other side of the camera, we've learned more about our graduates' families, pets, and friends by seeing you all trying to be invisible in the background while your grads were on camera. Seriously, graduates, about 10 years ago, when I first came to St. Francis and started to imagine an elite online law school, I hoped that one day we would graduate adults of your competency, diligence, perseverance, creativity, and intellect. And here you are. And I am thrilled to have participated and helped to guide you all on this journey. You are now the 4th graduating class from St. Francis as a California accredited law school. It is the achievements of students like you who enabled our accreditation to happen. So thank you. This is your graduation, And I want to briefly address all of our graduates. I've asked our graduates to provide me with their reflections on their journey at St. Francis. So I will address those thoughts as well. And we have really two separate cohorts here who are both graduating in 2024. And I wanted to start by briefly giving shout outs to those graduates who were unable to make it here today that are hopefully participating in this experience on the live stream. So briefly, Chris Russo is graduating today. Chris has an accounting background and really believed that his law school education would have a positive impact on the growth of his business in the future years. And Chris has noted that he absolutely loved the class format on Zoom, where you could interact and communicate with one another. And he believes it really helped his communication abilities and greatly enjoyed the interaction with everyone. He believes it's been a wonderful experience all the way around, and that, like many of you have expressed, that he's made lifelong friends and acquaintances and would actually do it all over again in a heartbeat. So, congratulations, Chris. David Janvier. David is a CPA in corporate finance, and he notes that the rigorous academic environment and supportive cohort at St. Francis helped him grow both personally and professionally. He really appreciated and wanted to honor the unwavering support of his wife, Wendy, and their children, which he believes, like many of you, have been critical to his success. His journey through law school has only enhanced his expertise in corporate finance, tax, and accounting, but also reignited his passion for lifelong learning, and looks forward to applying the knowledge and skills he's learned at St. Francis, hopefully to pass the bar and contribute to future career growth. So congratulations, David, and we're sorry you couldn't join us today. Also, shout out to John Wilkinson. John came to law school to learn more about the legal aspects of real estate and contract law, and he notes that he finds out that what he's learned in law school already comes up in many aspects of his daily life. He really did enjoy all of his classmates who, as he puts it, have unique personalities and talents, and all brought fun and joy and their own unique perspectives to each class. So congratulations, John. And finally, for the graduates who could not make it today, Avalon Webster. Avalon is a practice administrator in a healthcare clinic, and she actually said that she chose St. Francis based on testimonials that she read from other professionals who graduated from St. Francis. And one in particular said that St. Francis works with students to help them achieve their goal of learning the law and becoming an attorney. And that has been true for her. Avalon's unique in that she actually works with about 6 other family members in this healthcare clinic that she's a part of, and has found her legal education so far to be very helpful in managing that clinic. So we'll miss you, Avalon, and congratulations. So I'd like to turn to those who are here today, starting with Tammy Averna, who is a SoCal native with extensive business experience working as a business executive in large Fortune 500 companies. Not an overachiever, but she also holds an MBA in business entrepreneurship. But law's always been her passion. And Tammy, in reflecting on her time at St. Francis, indicates, like all of you do, that balancing the demands of law school with working full-time has been one of the most significant challenges she's faced. The pressure of juggling professional responsibilities while keeping up with coursework and exams required a great deal of perseverance and time management. Tammy is finishing up her last class in the next few weeks, like one of the cohorts here today, and is really looking forward to the February 2025 bar exam. I think, Tammy, we must have exchanged probably 30 emails over the years, and I have always appreciated your investment in and support of our program. I'm going to miss you and looking for you to do great things as an attorney. So congratulations. James Lee is another California resident living in the northern part of the states. And James is very community-oriented. He serves as CEO of the Richmond Chamber of Commerce. And his interests in community development and social entrepreneurship, and his background as a real estate broker and general contractor had fueled his passion for the law. He looks forward to using his law degree to serve and advocate for his community. And James, I have to say that I think you're one of the most diligent students I've had the pleasant of teaching, and also a recent survivor of the California bar exam. So congratulations. Okay, another bar survivor, John Merrifield. John's background as coming to law school is really interesting. It involved certification of aerospace industry companies and ensuring their conformity to international quality standards. And he's another one with interest in aviation law. During his career with the Federal Aviation Administration and the U.S. Air Force have led to his interest in seeking a law degree. And John has noted that he will always treasure these 4 arduous years with St. Francis, weekly interactions with classmates were of great help in learning and understanding the subject matter of law. And thanks all of us for our commitment to legal education. John, it has been a pleasure, and we wish you the best. Congratulations. Okay, Matt Raver. Matt's a fellow New Yorker and our resident pilot. He holds the St. Francis record of attending class from the greatest number of states, 14 last count, and countries, 11 at last count, throughout the past 4 years. Matt had noted that he always wanted to be an attorney and almost chose the legal profession over becoming a pilot. But our format and the opportunity at St. Francis provided him the opportunity to fulfill his passion for the law and plans on practicing law for his corporation in aviation contracts and transactional law and pro bono work for veterans and an advocate for victims' rights. And as he notes, and I think many second the sentiment, that classmates have become a family for him and many of you, and he feels blessed to have had their support and friendship, and to thank the staff for their guidance and support. So congratulations, Matt. So speaking of New Yorkers, Walter. Walter is a career banker who lives in Metro New York, lucky you, and Walter has shown incredible perseverance. And I don't know how many people know this, but Walter actually started with an earlier law school class, but at the time he was working probably close to 60 hours a week and saw that he couldn't keep up with the coursework. So he took a 6-month deferral, right, reduced his workload, and read law school prep books, and returned to St. Francis. So that was a great decision, because he's better prepared and got to spend 4 years with an amazing group of classmates. Wants to express his appreciation for all of you for your help, support, and genuine care that you've given each other over the past 4 years at St. Francis. And to show his confidence in all his classmates, Walter has related that if he needs legal advice, you can put your names in a hat and blindfold him, and he's confident that the name that he picks from the hat will provide him with good representation. So that says it all. Congratulations, Walter. And Romeo. Romeo is from Houston and a contractor for the Office of the Secretary of Defense for Research and Engineering, supporting AI programs. Romeo is also a lieutenant colonel, civil affairs with the Army Reserves, currently assigned in Hawaii. He went to law school in order to aid veterans in the need of legal services and support those who may not have access to lawyers due to financial challenges. And he's noted with the support of his classmates and professors, including me, who, like his first grade teacher and his high school history teacher, would not tolerate intellectual laziness or subpar performance, he has prospered. How can one fail when all around you believe, even when maybe you don't believe in yourself? Additionally, his classmates would be there all the way along this journey and made things tolerable when maybe it seemed unlikely that this day would arrive. Although the years in St. Francis may be over, and I think this speaks for many of you, the journey of the rest of your lives are just beginning, and the friendships made here will carry you through the rest of your days. So congratulations, Romeo. We will miss you. Giovanni. Giovanni grew up in South America, now is a fellow Californian, and he also hopes to dedicate his efforts to advocating for the rights of the underprivileged, and is grateful to his family and their attendance at this special ceremony. As Giovanni's noted, often we make decisions without knowing what lies around the corner, seeking signs that we're on the right path. And his assurance that he was on the right path at the right time stems from his incredible group of classmates. And from the beginning, really, his core group has stood steadfast for one another, unwavering in their support for one another. And that was really, their encouragement was the defining factor in completing this very rigorous course, regardless of the challenges thrown at you over the past 4 years. It is this group that made all the difference when life intervened, giving you all reasons to drop out, but you did not. And it is this camaraderie and genuine care, even though, and this always amazed me, most, and I don't know if all of our visitors understand this, they have never met each other personally until today. For 4 years, but the connection between each of them is really remarkable. And I know speak for Giovanni and all of you, that you'll actually miss your time in law school, even if you don't want to admit it now. You will miss us on Tuesday and Thursday night. So congratulations, Giovanni. Ariana. Ariana is also a Southern California resident who decided to take the opportunity imposed by the pandemic to expand her opportunities by going to law school. She's one of our youngest law students going to law school right out of undergraduate. And she has noted that with the way our country has changed over the last few years, she feels that young people need to step up and be part of the solution. She feels that if more, yay that, that if more young people like her do this, we'll be in a good place as a country in the future. And just on a personal note, Ariana, I have always been so impressed by you. Though you're quieter than many, no one should ever, ever underestimate you. I expect that you will use your law degree to do meaningful work, and I'm excited to see what that is. So congratulations. Before I forget, too, all the graduates should look out in your email after the ceremony, and that'll provide you instructions in how you can obtain a gift for some St. Francis swag, so you can continue to be reminded of your experience here at St. Francis. And finally, you all give St. Francis its spark, its energy, and its driving sense of purpose and mission. Use your legal training to do good work. Final thoughts, just quoting my legal hero, the notorious RBG, from one of her commencement addresses. If you want to be a true professional, do something outside yourself to make life a little better for people less fortunate than you. That's what I think a meaningful life is. One lives not only just for oneself, but for one's community. So use your knowledge to fight for the things you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. So best of luck to you all. So, well, graduates, the big moment has actually arrived, and we will first confer the degrees. Then we'll ask each graduate to come to the podium area to receive their diplomas and be hooded with academic honors and regalia that they're now entitled to. For our audience, the practice of wearing robes and hoods extends back at least as long as there's been higher education, certainly into the Middle Ages. It was frankly practical in origin, as the buildings, which were big stone edifices, were unbelievably and unbearably cold. But academics being academics, they soon made it somewhat special with different types of robes and hoods to distinguish different disciplines and levels of academic accomplishment. So there are three important things to know about this tradition. The first is that the traditional color for law for robes and hoods is purple. We are not just picking that color because we think it is pretty. The second is that the hood colors, in addition to the purple lining, are distinctive for each institution of higher learning. And ours, if you can see, is red and white. The third is that the graduates will, after today, wear this hood and these colors henceforth in any graduation of which they are part, unless and until they obtain another higher degree from a different institution. And your family is hoping and praying now that this is the highest degree you will ever obtain. So take good care of these hoods and get used to seeing them. So will the 2024 graduates please stand? The Juris Doctorate degree signifies that a person has completed a comprehensive and rigorous course of study in the subject matter, principles, and skills necessary to be an effective attorney and contributing member of the legal profession. Completion of a Juris Doctorate program is something that takes talent, intellectual curiosity, and commitment. So congratulations to each of you here today for your accomplishments. And by the authority invested in me and on behalf of the faculty of St. Francis School of Law, I confer upon you and all others, JD graduates who cannot be with us today but are listed in our program, who have met the program requirements, the degree of Juris Doctor with all the rights and privileges thereupon apprehending. So will you please join me, audience, in congratulating our 2024 graduates. Congratulations. So there. Will the graduates, you can now sit, please, and come forward as your as your name is called to receive your diplomas and hoods, and members of the faculty will be helping us in the hooding part of the program. So you all are going to be on that side. So going in alphabetical order, Tammy Averna. And next, let's welcome Walter Bond. Just a few closing remarks, and I'd like to welcome Randy Hill back to the podium.
Thank you, Dean Travis. So with closing remarks are tough. I'm pretty much one of the last people to stand between you and the reception and food and lunch. So I know to keep it very brief, and I will certainly do so. But again, as we draw this momentous occasion to a close, I want to extend one final note of heartfelt congratulations to the class of 2024. Today marks not only the end of your academic journey, but also the beginning of a new chapter filled with boundless possibilities and profound responsibilities. Graduates, you have demonstrated extraordinary dedication, resilience, and intellect throughout your time at St. Francis. Your journey has prepared you to face the complexities of the legal profession with both wisdom and compassion. Whatever legal career you pursue, remember that your education is not merely a credential, but a foundation upon which you will build a career dedicated to justice, advocacy, and positive change. Again, to the families and friends who have supported and cheered you on, thank you again for your unwavering encouragement and belief in these remarkable individuals. Your role in their journey has been invaluable. As you leave today, take with you the lessons learned, the connections built, and the passions that have driven you thus far. Embrace the challenges ahead with courage and integrity, and always strive to make a meaningful impact in the world. Congratulations once again, class of 2024. We are immensely proud of each of you and look forward to seeing the extraordinary contributions you will make. Best wishes for your future endeavors in the exciting road that lies ahead. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day and weekend celebrating this great achievement.
So we are going to take your graduates for a couple of minutes to have some photos taken, and then we'll all meet up at the reception. So this is the fun part. This is the time to celebrate, and this concludes the formal ceremony. We'd appreciate the audience staying in their seats for a moment while we have the graduates process out of the courtroom. So the 7th St. Francis School of Law commencement is adjourned. So.